Hello, hello, hello. Here I am. We are live. Welcome to the 34th episode of Philo. We're starting a new story tonight because we finished the last story. 2 weeks ago, I took a week off and kind of, just relaxed a little bit because 33 weeks in a row was a lot. So I took 1 week off, but I'm back. We have a guest artist tonight. Our guest artist is Dale Cipperley, which I'm going to put in a big window.
No.
I don't know why Restream does that. But yeah, we have Dale Cipperley tonight, who's going to be our guest artist. And then Robin is going to be about 5 minutes late. She's walking home from work right now. And so, she needs to use the bathroom and stuff.
She's on Canadian time.
She's on Canadian time. So yeah, I guess I'll start the first comic tonight. Okay. And let me do this. I'll do the first panel, and then I'll throw up your panel because you got like a sketch going on there.
Oh, I'm just warming up. I'm rusty. I haven't been cartooning lately.
Just kind of reminding people where we were at last week. This is the third to last page. I'm missing some panels from one of my artists, and so I need to finish the second to last page and then the last page. And so this is where I've left off, which is page 22 on the website. And then I came up with, where is it? Oh no, I lost it. Oh no. I had a prompt thing. Did I not put it in the right window? Let's see. Oh, there it is. I had. Okay, so because I wasn't sure chat right away, I thought that we would just use a random prompt generator of where we're going to start our Philo. And so should I start with like a place? Let's see, dictionary word generator, writing prompt generator. Let's see, theme generator. Should we start with a theme?
Let's start with the theme.
Yeah, let's start with the theme. Okay. All right, so we have isolated seawater, valley, window, savior of the world, trapeze, outbreak, dwarf, lilies, and spaceship.
I'm sorry. I'm a Trekkie. I got to go with spaceship.
Okay, so we're going to be on a spaceship.
Yes.
Okay, so we're going to be on a spaceship. And then I think that also handles place, too, because that was our theme.
Yep.
And so we have Magic Marmot saying hi. Gilligan's Island theme. Let's see. If we do space and Gilligan's Island mixed together. Just a second. There we go. So let me grab my glove. Wouldn't that be Melonpool? Hi, Kay. Kay says hi.
Okay.
All right. So I'll do panel 1. You can do panel 2. So we're on a spaceship. What's going on? Magic Marmot says Gilligan's Island. So spaceship crashes. They're stuck on a planet.
That sounds logical to me.
Okay, I can do that. So spaceship crashes. They're lost on a planet. That is my panel. What is your panel?
Well, my guess is you're going to do some sort of establishing shot of the spaceship hurtling towards the planet or moon or asteroid or whatever, and I have to.
Well, I was going to draw it like landing, crashing down,
okay.
like from the perspective of the planet. So I was going to be
okay, then I have to draw the space. I have to draw the people crawling out of the wreckage.
Yeah, I just have to figure out. I might make this look like what is it? I'm trying to remember the name of Steve's ship in Melonpool. It's a space duck or something.
What is this, a comic or a TV
show? It was a web comic from the like 90s and 2000s.
Okay.
Breathable atmosphere, says Magic Marmot. So yeah, so it's going to be a breathable atmosphere.
Now, who are our characters?
Well, we have Philo. We know Philo is in the ship.
Okay.
So we don't know about anybody else at this point. I don't even know if Bluto and Otis and all of them are canon anymore because we are starting a new story.
Okay.
Hi, Airspace.
I see that our hero Chuck Whalen is here with us.
Yes, Chuck Whelan. Yes, and why does Robin look so hairy? No, Robin hasn't arrived yet. She will. Yeah, we're gonna do this. I'll put like 2 moons in the sky so you know it's an alien world. And then she forgot to shave, says Magic Marmot. Let's see. And then Kay is laughing at that, which because it's kind of interesting. All right, I'll see her when she gets here. Let's see. Oh, that's a relief, says Earthspace. Yes. All right. So yeah, I think what we're going to end up doing is kind of give it a bridge up here, and then I'll give it like a neck, and then I'll give it these like nacelles. Yeah, so how is everyone tonight? How are you tonight, Dale?
It's warm here. Man, it's I need to get a place with an air conditioner.
Put your feet in a bucket of water. That's my best suggestion.
Okay.
That's what I had to do last week.
Oh, we did have a holiday. I think it was yesterday. Our hero Sergio Aragonés is now 87.
Oof.
Yeah.
Let's see. Let me do this, and then let's make this easy for me. And we will take. Let's see. What is it? Man-made stuff. Grass. Here we go. Trees, leaves. There we go. I'll make this easy on me. I'm just gonna do bam. Bam. Yeah. I'm gonna use brushes to help me. Captain Rado Harkness. And then Tired Happy, a day at a huge neighborhood garage sales, didn't end up buying very much. Yeah, I still don't see Robin yet, so she's still on her way. But yeah, we're I don't know. I spent last weekend, because I didn't do Philo, taking out these old Disney porcelains. And all of the Disney porcelains had been cracked in some way. Years of being in storage, stuff got piled on top of them at one point. It's just, is disappointing. But I glued them all back together. And started a couple gallons of cider fermenting, says Magic Marmot. Oh, hi, TM Perkins. What goodness are you drawing today? Right now I'm drawing a crashing spaceship. And then we will check in to see what is going on Dale's. He's still sketching it in. So I don't know exactly what's going on in Dale's. Yes. And so we're starting a new story tonight. We finished the last story last night. Or last time that we streamed. I took off last week. And so we are back at it. And so it's a blank slate. All we know is Philo is in the story. We don't know anything else. I don't know if any of the other characters are canon. I think that, we might just have to go with what happens. It's an improv comic. And I realize that now, that it's like a performance.
It's like Chuck and his art battle.
Yeah. Yeah. He's prepping for that. That's what, next week?
Yes, it's. I think it's the 25th or something.
I'm just gonna do black dots for the sky. So we'll know it's sky. Let's see. Always glue stuff back together. We have the technology and better adhesives. Yes, it took me several hours. We had 16 of them, and in fact, Aristocat still is missing a piece. I found all the pieces. It's just that his hands don't want to stay on, and Ian said he would do it because I got frustrated with it. Yes, it's September 25th in San Francisco, says Earth Space. So, are you going to be streaming that event, Chuck? Oh, wait, it sounds like we got Robin. There's Robin.
Sorry about the delay. Hello.
It's okay. It's okay. I could hear you huffing in your voicemail where you're like, I'm on my way. I'll be right there.
No, but then I got here. Hi, Dale. I got here on time, but then I forgot I had to give my cat her meds.
Oh,
so.
Well, that's okay.
Thankfully, it's just a thing of putting it in her food and then walking away. I don't know if I could grab her and put it in her. So that's good.
Earthspace shared with us a link to the art battle. So anybody who's interested in checking it out can check it out there. I didn't know if you were going to be streaming your section, though. There will probably be a video of some sort. Okay. Yeah, let's see. Let's do this. Got to make sure that I'm doing extra damage. So how are we tonight, Miss Robin?
Awful.
Oh no, what happened?
One of my in real life friends has committed suicide last week.
Oh no.
Actually, still this week, this week. It was on Monday.
I know.
Bernie Moreau.
Yeah.
He's actually a very, very talented cartoonist, but we were actually friends in real life.
Yeah,
so I've been pretty upset.
I heard about that, but I'm not familiar enough with his work, and I've never met the man in person. So I didn't comment or anything because I don't know what he was going through. I don't know anything really about the man, but I feel for all of his friends and family who lost someone they cared about very much. And so I'm not gonna say something stupid.
No.
E600 is a great adhesive, super glue gel or Gorilla Glue gel, rock repair. And damn it, I'm so sorry, Robin, says Kay. And then so sorry I'm late, says Meep Beep. Hi, Meep Beep.
Hi. Yeah, he was an amazing colorist. That's what he's most famous for. He did work on Grendel. And he also did this amazing story that Neil Gaiman wrote of the Riddler that everybody always likes to cite. But he actually was one of the first people in the history of comics to do a superhero comic about a guy who wasn't actually all that superheroic. He was just a dude who put on green pajamas and wandered around Montreal. His name was The Jam. Well, that was his superhero name. His real name was Gordon. And it was mostly about Bernie's relationship troubles in that comic, more so than superhero things. This guy just liked to put on green pajamas and walk his dog in the middle of the night and try to stop crimes if they were happening. The first time I met Bernie actually was through Joe Matt's comic. He kind of makes fun of him because Joe Matt also was a colorist on Grendel. Yeah. And makes him seem like this really goofy guy, but then you meet him and he's just like the sweetest, nicest person ever. I don't think I've ever met anyone in comics as nice as Bernie and as sweet.
Well, I am sorry that you lost your friend. Like I said, I don't know enough about him to comment. I've heard nothing but good things. And so
he was such an advocate of the comic book scene in Montreal. He was so great. And actually, one of the things that he did that I thought was really cool for me, anyways, is when I restarted my radio show about comic books in Montreal, he actually volunteered to interview me so people would get to know who I was before the show started. And that was a total thrill to have someone like Bernie interview me. But yeah, he was special.
Well, I am sorry. I've looked at some of his work since hearing about his passing, because we have a lot of cross circles of friends, you and I, and a lot of people knew him, and so
he's been around doing comics since like the late 70s, early 80s, and his work is important, and he's like he's a powerhouse. Like, he did everything when it came to his own comics. Like, he did a comic called Dr. Robot, and he like inks, colors, draws, writes, the whole thing. And I mean, there's other people that do that as well, but Bernie was such a distinctive voice. Like, you could never mistake it for anyone else's work. He was great. He was a great guy, a great cartoonist.
So we are on panel 3. And
you gotta remind me what the heck is happening. I have no idea.
So we looked up some random prompts online and showing you the first panel. The prompt that came up was spaceship, and then what? Oops, sorry, I'm like ruining stuff. Was spaceship, and so Magic Marmot said Gilligan's Island. So we combine the ideas of Gilligan's Island and spaceship, and have a spaceship crashing. And so that's panel 1. And then panel 2 that Dale's working on is Philo emerging on the planet after the spaceship crashed.
I told you he was an alien. You keep denying it, but I told you.
Dr. Robot was awesome, says T.N. Perkins. And I remember finding so many comics, graphic novels in Montreal in 1984, says Kay. Zach is lurking. Hi, Zach. And then, sorry for your loss, says Chuck. And then, Meat Beep says they are trying to learn makeup.
Cool. That's not easy. I always wonder how those ladies know how to contour.
Okay.
I'm quite impressed by makeup.
I will tell you where you learn makeup. You type into YouTube drag queen makeup, right? And it sounds silly, right? But drag queens know contouring. They know how to do eyes. They know how to
know everything.
Show you every brush, right? And they'll show you natural looks. They'll show you dramatic looks. So there's a variety.
Yeah, because natural is what I want. I don't want to look like a drag queen only on certain days.
Well, I mean Halloween.
Yeah. Like on Saturdays.
So on panel 3, what happens after Philo emerges from the ship? While we are thinking about that, I will.
Well, is anybody around to see him? It looks like there is.
While we're thinking about that, Ian got me this not like 2 hours ago.
I can see it's a gargoyle thing, but it's backwards, so I can't tell. Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Full with cloth clothes. Interesting.
Yeah, I have not opened them yet, obviously, because it's going to take me like an hour. But
he's got alternate faces and feet. That's awesome. Those are the best kind of dolls.
Yeah, and his wings wrap around his jacket, and his wings are behind and stuff. And so Ian went to the store for a gaming controller, and then he came back and he's like, "Here, have a gargoyle." He's like, "Ah! He got me a gargoyle." Okay, so awesome. You said that people are there. Let's look at Dale's panel. We see mushrooms.
No, but that's Philo there?
That's Philo standing, yeah.
Okay.
And that's the crash ship.
In an endeavor to make it more like him doing stuff, have him eat the mushrooms and go on a really long, strange trip.
Well,
he doesn't realize that the mushrooms aren't the people, the citizens of this planet. He thinks the mushrooms are the citizens, so he's trying to commune with them, so he eats them. And then he has the LSD experience, or psilocybin, a mushroom experience.
I see the dog has returned to the story. So Philo has a dog now. Okay, so Philo eats some mushrooms.
Yeah, because he thinks that that's what's populating this planet. Because he hasn't seen any humans yet. So he's trying to commune with the mushrooms, so he consumes them, so he can talk to them.
I don't think you would consume something you're trying to talk to. He's
an alien. How do you know what they do on his planet?
Wait, Magic Marmot. Wait, Philo's adventures are already quite trippy, says Earth Space. And then Magic Marmot says the mushrooms are the citizens of the planet. By eating them, they do communicate with him.
See, I'm not the only one who goes there.
Okay, I could do that. And so I'm gonna have him. I think I can do that in one panel. Is that they communicate with him? They're very psychedelic, says Kay. So yes, I'll say Philo eats some mushrooms. And they communicate with him. Yeah, I can do a yes and. I can do that. Yeah, last week was nice to have off, but I did miss the show. And I hope people weren't like too bothered that I took the week off. I felt like I needed it though. I was
last week I had a squirrel in my room.
Yes, you did, and then you had to take it to the animal shelter.
Well, I was always going to take it to the animal shelter.
Well, yeah.
I just was waiting for my day off to do it.
So why did you have a squirrel?
So where I work with a bunch of teenagers and 20-year-olds, and the squirrel shows up. And so we fed it like watermelon and nectarine and stuff. And then she's like a teenager, and so apparently she's like roaming, is what my friend who rescued squirrels said. And then she came back a couple of days later, and she started trying to come into the store, which is really dangerous because all the guys are coming out with like heavy carts and stuff, and they would just run her over, not even realizing.
Yeah.
So, and then plus all the teenagers and the 20-year-olds started mauling her for like photo opportunities and feeding her and stuff, and she like
so
got
she
so
imprinted.
used to humans. Yeah, she got really used to humans, and she was really into food, like nuts and stuff that she never really had before, I guess.
I have a squirrel that is going into my daughter's room, and since my daughter likes to throw food on the floor, I'll give her like trail mix or something, and she throws it on the floor. And so the squirrels figured that out, and we'll go in there and like, ooh, trail mix.
Mm-hmm. They're not stupid.
No, they're not stupid, but yeah, so my daughter's like a Disney princess with it. It'll be on the bed with her, and she'll be feeding it out of her hand.
Nice.
Yeah. Let's give him his like air tanks, and then
When I worked in Palo Alto, I would have to park in the residential area, and there were squirrels because there were all these nice parks. You see, Palo Alto has all these nice parks because they're mass graves for Chinese railroad workers. They used to have these things called, what was it called? Funeral clubs, because the railroad workers wanted to be buried in China if they died. So Stanford, the railroad magnate, he organized these funeral clubs, and what the Chinese people didn't know is that he just took the money and he buried them in mass graves in Palo Alto. So that's why you have all these.
Yeah, that's crazy.
And
awful.
So you don't talk about that. You get yelled at by the police in Palo Alto if you talk about that, because it will lower the property values. So I walked to my car, and the parks, they were filled with squirrels, but all the squirrels were black.
Nice. Those are the coolest looking squirrels.
Over time,
mine was gray.
Over time, all the brown squirrels disappeared. They were all black squirrels, and I asked someone about that who worked for the city, and they don't like to talk about it, but it was part of a science experiment at Stanford in genetics. They bred black squirrels, and then they just, when they were done, they released them into the park. So
Stanford, the magnet, and Stanford, the university, seemed very irresponsible.
And, I would see the black squirrels. And there were also homeless people at that time in the early 2000s.
Oh, they're probably still there, especially now. We have tent cities up here in Canada everywhere.
Well,
there's tent cities everywhere.
would talk to the homeless people. I would give them a buck or two, or we'd buy them lunch, and they would not sleep in the parks. And I asked them why, because they used to, and they said it's because of the squirrels. And I asked,
squirrels eat their tents?
No, the squirrels were starting to use tools. And I like, oh, you're totally full of it. And he says, nope. They like find like sporks and plastic utensils and twigs, and they were actually like digging things and attacking each other like in little wars. They were evolving into tool users, and I did not believe them at all. Until one night I had to work late at the Apple store, and I'm walking to my car, and I see this little fire like in the middle of the park, kind of under a tree, and I think, oh man, I better go stomp that out, so that there isn't a major fire. And when I got to that little fire, I saw a circle of squirrels.
No way.
The fire, I swear it, man. And they all turned at me, and they were all like holding like twigs and sporks, and one of them had a nail. And I got the hell out of there, and I stopped parking near the parks in Stanford, Palo Alto. Yeah, true story.
Well, my squirrel was pretty cute. She didn't do much. She was pretty cuddly. I was afraid she'd go ape shit in her container, but she didn't. She was pretty happy with the nesting and the blankets I set up for her. But then when I brought her to the society, and they rehab squirrels, like it's totally all about squirrels in there. The lady just grabbed her, and just before she threw her in the cage, my little squirrel bit her.
So we've had some chatting going on. Very psychedelic. At least they don't eat your wiring. Oh my God, we have black squirrels here in Minneapolis.
Yeah.
Minneapolis has gang squirrels, and that would make a great comic novel. Dale, you needn't have run. The squirrels would have accepted you as one of their own.
Yeah, I could have stayed and been the Squirrel King.
Yeah, why wouldn't you want to be the Squirrel King? I would have done it. Squirrels are awesome.
I could have worn my gorilla suit and been their god.
I'm all about city rodents, man. I have so much respect for city rodents now. Like, I remember, like, I used to totally hate cockroaches, and then when I went to Hong Kong and the cockroaches were, like, this big, I was like, holy shit. And then it was like, respect for cockroaches.
Well, you've seen Madagascar hissing cockroaches, right? Those guys are
they're insane. But like, yeah, the ones from Hong Kong are just giant. And same with rats. Like, even in China, you have to accept rats and cockroaches because that country has been in existence with humans for zillions of years. And those cockroaches and rats have been around just as long. So you could get upset and try to get rid of them, but you can't. They're indestructible. I had a Chinese doctor tell me when I was in China that cockroaches and Chinese people are the only things that are going to survive the apocalypse.
He may not be wrong.
Yeah, but who will be on top of that food chain?
Cockroaches? Who knows? Squirrels, man. Squirrels will be on top of that food chain.
Be like Planet of the Squirrels. That was an idea I had for a strip. I got started on it, but I stopped.
So Dale, are you still working on that panel? Are you ready for the next panel?
I'm done, but I still need to write in white what it is. We never made it a title.
So what do the mushrooms want to convey to Philo? Or what does Philo want to convey to the mushrooms? Because now they can communicate.
What I have this mushroom saying, "Don't eat me" to him.
Yeah.
And so I would imagine yours is just Philo emerges for your caption, Dale.
Emerges?
Okay.
Yeah, from the from the ship. If he crashed on the ship.
Oh, the ship. But he already did. He's already out of the ship already.
Yes, but
the first panel Dale drew is him out of the ship.
Yes, but Dale needs a caption for that panel.
Oh,
so that's his caption.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
Philo emerges is perfect. Yeah.
Yes. Yeah, I think I'm gonna do like kind of a wavy line here if he's having like a trip. Yeah.
So then that would be Dale's next panel would be the actual trip he's on and the mushrooms trying to talk to him.
Yeah, I guess it would be their communication.
That's what I think. Hey, can I tell you guys something? You guys cut me off when I was trying to tell you about this before, but then something crazy happened, so I wanted to tell you about it.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry.
A couple of months ago, I was talking about doing a comic because this friend of mine, this online friend of mine, disappeared. And he was like living in Brazil, and I was worried about it because he was like a skateboarder who kind of spoke out about politics, but he posts a lot about comics. And you know, James is a friend of his online. There's a bunch of my friends that are online friends with this guy, and he does really interesting comics that are kind of like they sort of look like it's Peter Maxwell, right? The guy that did the Yellow Submarine cartoon.
Mm-hmm.
No, I'm asking, it's Peter Maxwell?
I don't. There was an artist named Peter Max, but
who did the Yellow Submarine cartoon with the Beatles?
I'm familiar with the art style. I don't know who the artist is, though.
I don't know
okay. But he kind of draws like that sort of style, and it's really, I love it. And I was like, if he's dead, I don't want his comics to disappear. So I was trying to put it together like a comic of all the stuff he sent me and get like a timeline going and like all the stuff, like to see if I could put together a story of what he sent me. And like 2 weeks ago, he showed back up. And he's been missing for almost a year. And he was just like, he got locked out of his Facebook account. And I was just like, so glad he was still alive.
Well, yeah.
Now he's posting like crazy again, all about comics. Good. Oh, I think you should read what Kay wrote because I think that's great.
Let's see. Dale will survive the apocalypse, and we are all ingredients on the same huge pizza. What the fungi convey. I love it. I love it. That is your new caption, Dale.
For the next panel.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So I'm going, don't eat me. Because I imagine that would be the first thing he says.
I had to spend 350 Canadian dollars on my cat yesterday.
Is your cat okay?
Yeah, she has I just noticed pus coming from her bum, and I was like, what the heck? And so then I took her to the vet, and all it is she has an infection in her anal gland because she has like they have two anal sacs on the sides of the anus. You have to squeeze them. Yeah. I didn't do it. The vet did it. Yeah. Cost me $70 for that.
Yeah. No, you have to squeeze them. That's happened to our cats before, but we know what to do, and so we just you just wear gloves, and yeah.
Well, she also needed antibiotics, right? Because it's pus.
Because it had been a while, but it's antibiotics definitely a good idea. I'm sorry it cost so much.
I've never had to do that in my whole entire life with my cats. Arya's my third cat.
Mm-hmm. No, I've had to do it with some of my cats. Not all of my cats, but some of my cats just don't clean themselves that well.
And well, she does. She cleans herself pretty good.
The long-haired ones have problems.
She's not a long-haired. She's a normal-haired. I don't know. I've had her for like 6 years now, so this is new.
Well, it's just... if you
I don't know. Online it said one of the things is constipation causes it, so that's what I think might be. It might be that she has pretty good bowel movements, but I could see if she was constipated how it would cause problems.
No, we all live in a comic strip, and the great cartoonist eventually decides if you have a cat, you eventually have to get into cat butt stuff.
Says the man who's obsessed with butt stuff.
Hey.
Sorry, it's totally appropriate.
See, I kind of like it where his trip is going in front of Philo. So it's like two different panels. I don't know. I don't know if that works.
Yeah, I've owned when we got Harry the kitten, he couldn't clean himself very well, so we had to do butt checks on him all the time because, if you don't take care of your kitten's butt, it's like a very expensive vet bill. So,
yeah. Plus, they're like babies, right? That's how you tell if anything's going good or bad is from their poop.
So I would chase Sabrina around the house with Harry the kitten, his butt facing forward, so yell butt check, and she would have to check his butt. That was a lovely time.
Magic
Well,
Marmot
see,
says
I'm lucky
now all
because
the
I have
mushrooms have faces. It looks like two different characters.
I'm lucky because my cat's one of those cats that loves to shove her butt in my face. So the vet was like, "You caught it pretty quick," because I noticed it like the day before, and then I was like, "If that happens again tomorrow, then I'm taking her to the vet." But yeah, she likes butt scratches, above her tail there, so she's always shoving her butt in my face. Here, let's see if I can show you her. She's like stretched out with her belly and everything. No, keep her.
Here. Okay. So your panel, let's bring up your panel.
Can you see her? I can't tell if you can see her.
Where we're all ingredients. You didn't type it in. You need to type it in of we're all ingredients on the same huge pizza.
Amber, can you put me on the big screen? I want to show my cat.
Yeah.
Well, she was all stretched out and
Oh.
Right, here you go. There she is.
Aw.
That's not her right there. Here you go. Oh,
I'm
she's
gonna
so sad.
put down. We are all.
Herself. But she is sticking her butt in my face as we speak, like we mentioned.
We are all toppings on the same huge pizza.
On the
Yes,
same
that's
huge
a good
pizza.
one.
Okay.
Have you guys ever been to a mushroom factory? Like not a psychedelic one, but like a regular one? I had the pleasure of doing that when I was a kid.
No, I don't think I have.
I haven't.
Yeah, it was great.
I've seen documentaries on them. There are people who have that as a side income for farmers markets. They'll take a granny unit. They'll build like a shed specifically for it. And you have to sterilize the growth medium. You have to be careful about inhaling the spores. It's some people grow gourmet mushrooms to make money at farmers markets.
It was in Winnipeg, and it was like an old factory. I don't remember what the factory used to do, but it was like huge and cavernous and empty, and they had like all the mushrooms growing on the floor, and we got to pick our own mushrooms. They were white mushrooms.
So Magic Marmot says now all the mushrooms have faces. It looks like two different characters. Everybody loves butt scritches. And then K-Bird has a little kitty face. So we are on the next panel when we are all toppings on the same huge pizza. So then what happens when we are all toppings? Like it looks like Philo's turning into a mushroom creature.
Oh, that'd be cool. Panel. But that would be defiant of our mandate that he's doing stuff versus having stuff happen to him. I think we should work on the story defying that.
The hallucination.
Yeah, he's just hallucinating. So,
this
is temporary.
Okay.
Yeah.
He turns into a mushroom. So then your next panel is him as a mushroom talking to the mushrooms. But that's why I said before this all happened, what is he trying to convey? What is his mandate here?
Well, he crashed, so wouldn't he need help getting off the planet?
All right, so that's what's happening in your panel. He's asking for help.
Okay.
Even though he's a mushroom. Is he going to talk in like mushroom hieroglyphics or do the mushrooms speak English?
Let's see. Philo tries to ask for help. So we'll see if it works in the next panel or not. And so we'll do that. You need to figure out Philip's motivation, what dates he wants. I
think he means Philo.
Philo.
Are you drunk, Chuck?
No, he's probably using talk to text.
He's English.
Oh.
He speaks in metric.
He thinks Philo wants a date? I think Philo wants to fix his spaceship. I think Amber's right.
Chuck speaks in metric English.
So do I.
Oh yeah, I mean you can barely understand you.
I'm part of the colonies too. I'm part of the British Empire. Hey, do you guys have Cheetos in your country?
Yes.
No.
Cheetos?
Yes, we have them, but they're not spelled with a U.
That's clever.
Earthspace says, what does he want? And so I would imagine he wants to go back home, right?
Kill a word.
Yeah, a picture's worth a kill a word. It's funny.
Oh, I went to the San Francisco Zine Fest, Robin. You would have enjoyed that.
That sounds exciting. Was it a weekend thing? Did you just go today?
It was a one-dayer last Sunday up at the San Francisco Metreon, which means the parking was really easy. Not cheap, but easy. And they had a lot of cool zines there. I picked up about a half dozen or well, maybe about a dozen.
I hate going to those things now because it costs so much money. Like I went to TCAF and there was so many things I wanted to get, but actually in the end I spent a lot of money, but everything I bought was a friend's piece because it was like I have to support my friends. So I only got a couple of new things, but there are so many talented people out there right now, and you go to those cons and it's like, fuck, I want to buy everything.
Chuck says, but autocorrect wants him to go on a date, and does Philo have a love life?
Where the heck have you been, Chuck? He's been dating Bluto for the last 5 months. Oh, God.
Can't blame Chuck. He's British.
He's British?
He's
got your excuse for everything?
Chuck is very busy. And so he
Is that
can't
what you
tune
say
in
about
every
me?
episode. I'm not mad at him for not
Don't blame Robin. She's
Philo has been
Canadian.
in a relationship since the 3rd
You're
episode.
Canadian?
I get that. You need a bigger house to post all artwork you want, says Micromastophobia. Hi, Micromastophobia. I haven't seen you in a while. We need to get together and do another cook thing because it's fall. So I'm thinking maybe a pumpkin pie from scratch or something.
Sure.
Micromastophobia and I, we used to do these things where we come and just cook a meal and, just eat it together. And, he enjoys food and we enjoy food. That was a date.
Food's good. Food's smart. Who doesn't like food? Crazy people.
When I was growing up, I did not realize that my mom was a bad cook. And I learned that dating Ian, and he went, this is good food. And I went, oh, this is better food than what I grew up eating. And so he made me a foodie later in life because there was no point for me to enjoy it. It was just fuel, right? But that's because I was eating shitty food.
Guys learn to cook to impress women.
Ian does most of the cooking in our relationship. I will admit that.
I found out later on in life that, I think I might have mentioned this before, but that my mom hated cooking her whole life with us. And it was so funny because when I was living in China, we'd have these potluck meals, and I'd always make something that I loved that my mom would make that I was nostalgic for. So I'd make it, and everybody'd be like, "This is so good! This is so delicious!" I'm like, "Yeah, it's my mom's recipe. We used to have this all the time." And then I found out later she hated cooking, and as soon as she retired from working, she made my dad do all the cooking all the time now.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, people always talk about how it tastes good because you put love into it. And I'm like, well, my mom hated every meal she made. What does that say about the food we ate?
Well, I'm surprised.
She made good food. There are certain things she didn't like to make, though, like lamb. She would never make lamb, and her pork chops are awful. And we never had good cauliflower.
The thing is, my parents, my grandmother was a good cook. My mom was a good cook, and my mom had the Betty Crocker.
Dale, can you center your picture? Thank you.
Mom had the Betty Crocker, the old Betty Crocker cookbook with all these cool badly reproduced photos of food was like a cookbook from the early 50s, full of like butter and lard and cream and all the good
lard. They're realizing now lard is actually very healthy to cook with.
Yeah. And I looked at it, and I one day as a kid made the realization that I could have this food if I just learned how to cook it. And that's what I did. That's what guys do. They realize, oh my God, I can have all this great food if I just learn how to cook.
Do you know what I learned the other day that's really funny?
What?
What's
Is that in the Jamaican culture, if the man doesn't know how to cook, they make fun of his mother. And because the mother's supposed to teach the man to cook, so he's beholden to no woman.
So Micromastophobia says, I'm up for that. I just bought a refurbished KitchenAid. Ooh. K-Bird says, my mom too, veggies equals corn and peas canned. Magic Marmot says, Philo's spaceship was lost and running out of food, which is why he ate the mushrooms immediately. He needs the ship repaired, but all the technology is fungal technology. Magic Marmot says that cookbook is still available on Amazon. And Micromastophobia says, yep, same here. I could always go out to eat or learn to cook well.
I agree with Philo, spaceship lost and running out of food. But I think with the fungal technology, it's a problem because they have to wait for it to grow, and that takes time, and he needs it fixed faster than a month. Or however long it takes for mushrooms to grow.
Well, I mean, I imagine some mushrooms sprout up overnight. Like fungus is amazing. It really is.
Those are the fruiting bodies.
Yeah.
The actual, what we think of a mushroom is we don't really see it. It's
it's these like tendrils that go through the earth, and then they wrap around the roots of trees and other plants, and they communicate and send nutrients back and forth. It's really cool.
Yeah. I've seen that.
Mycelium. These are space mushrooms. Mycelium, says Micromastophobia. Or no, that's Magic Marmot that said that. Just a reminder, I did not put it in the description. I can, but Magic Marmot's house did burn down. If anybody wants to give money to a good cause, there's still a Kickstarter going on. And so like I said, I don't have a link in the description. I didn't think about it until now. But it's a good cause if you want to give to a good cause. So, yeah, and we'll do this. We'll have him kind of doing that. I love your drawing, by the way, of him all mushroomed out.
Yeah, Chuck and I were talking about
Do you know the Mushroom Man? The Mushroom Man?
Underground Comics today, because he was working on a page of his comic, Philo. And Chuck is influenced by our heroes, the late Dave Sheridan and Gilbert Shelton. Dave Sheridan helped work on a few of the fabulous Three Brothers comics. And he also had his own comic called Dealer McDope.
Why is that scraping so loud?
That is Dale drawing. And it's because he has his mic very close to his table rather than his mouth.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah. If he had it closer to his mouth, we would be able to hear him over the
There's
scraping.
an amazing book.
Love Sheridan's work.
It's half Dave Sheridan's, and I can't remember the name of the other artist. It's called Mind Warp. You might be able to get a copy of it from Ripoff Press. I think they made, Last Gasp.
Yeah, Last Gasp. Do you know you can see the cartoon of the Fabulous Furry Freak Brothers on Tubi for free?
I can't bring myself to watch it.
Oh, okay.
Because it's the characters, but the background style isn't the same, and that freaks me out a little.
Oh no, something slightly different. Ah!
Oh, shut up.
I mean, I wouldn't want to, make too much noise on your lawn, Dale.
You know, if you guys aren't nice
Wait,
to me,
what? Old man shakes fist at the sky? This
if you
just
guys
in?
if you aren't nice to me, I'm gonna go outside and yell at clouds.
Yeah, I'm sure they're used to that by you getting yelled at once in a while.
Yeah, thanks.
I got a cool story if you guys want to hear it about Mark Baudet.
Yeah, sure.
Oh, I do, because he was in God, I forget which country, doing a mural, and I guess the Baudet cartoon concert's going to be performed in another country as well. Sorry to interrupt. Go on.
Oh, that's okay. I saw that you posted some art by him, so I knew you'd like to hear it.
Yeah.
This time last year I was at the Fan Expo in Toronto, and I was trying to get my radio show back off the ground, and I was trying to garner some interviews. So Mark Baudet is available if I want to interview him. I've got his contact info when I finally get him. But that's not the story. The story he told me that was really cool was that he was there for 3 days, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. And I think I was talking to him either Saturday or Sunday, and he said that on Friday, this guy showed up who was like about the same age as him, and he had like a cassette tape and some art, and he was like, your dad came to Toronto and did a Comic-Con in the 70s, and he stayed at my mom's place and gave her all this stuff, and I just kept it this whole time. And he was like, would you like it? And Mark, apparently he told me he started crying because here was this cassette that had his dad's voice doing like one of these comic shows, right?
Yeah.
Like you were just talking about, where the animation comes to life, where he talks like the Cheech Wizard or whatever, right? His own live version of his comic. And he hadn't heard his dad's voice in like 20 years. So he it was a piece of gold to him, and he couldn't wait to get back home so he could transcribe it, hear it onto another medium so that it would be saved forever.
That's cool.
Yeah, it is. Just some random dude in Toronto who was just a kid when his dad came through, and his mom kept all that stuff.
Well, Von Baudet's
Hi, Jeremy.
work.
And then Kay says, love Sheridan's work, by the way.
Von Baudet's work, his father's work was just so amazing and so different.
Yeah.
And,
like Bernie Murrow, you could say. The two were iconoclasts in their own right.
So, I believe I am on panel. Gosh, what panel am I on? Am I on 7? Are you working on 6 right now?
No, I'm on 4.
You're on 4? Okay, well then I am doing 6 then.
Okay.
Whoa, Micromastophobia has some cool news.
Wait, I have some interesting news. My number came up for Casa Bonita. Yay! I'm permitted to reserve a table. Oh,
that's
Ian,
very exciting.
Ian, you want to go to Casa Bonita with Eric?
Hell yeah.
Yeah, if you invite us, Ian says, hell yeah. And backstage says Dale. But yes, that's awesome. If you invite us. I'm not going to say you have to invite us, but if you do.
Supposedly Casa Bonita, they were not going to have tips. Now they have tips. And
they weren't going to have tips?
They were going to allow tipping, and they were going to have you kind of do it sort of cafeteria style. Now they're actually going to have waiters. So
that's good.
Some of the ideas.
Get some people employed, goddammit. Suck up some of that South Park trickle down money.
Some of the ideas they had, just the customers during the soft open could not deal with. It was just too different.
Oh, he says it's too late. I'm afraid. I wanted to reserve a 10-person table, but I waited 24 hours after I got the email. All 10-person tables were taken.
They don't have.
Oh, you snooze, you lose.
Well, you can reserve a 3-person table. Well, 4-person. We'll have to bring Annabelle. She would love it there. She would be like, "This place is amazing. I love it." Then I tried to get a 6-person table, and the only times were available were 3 p.m. on a Wednesday for dinner. Wow.
If you go, tell them that their gorilla sucks.
Yes, I will specifically go and seek out the gorilla and say, oh, by the way, one of the official members of the Gorilla Suit Nation or whatever, says that your suit sucks.
I actually know this pop culture reference because I'm a huge South Park nerd. But everyone on the interwebs is going crazy over this cosplay about Rainbow Dash in a jar. I had to Google it, and now I'm sad I Googled it.
I don't understand. I never watched the show.
No, it's not from the show. There's this girl, she did this cosplay where she's like actually dressed up as Rainbow Dash, but she's got this jar around her.
Yeah, I saw that.
Okay, and everyone's going crazy, like, this is the best cosplay ever. So I Googled it. Do you really want to know what it is?
Sure.
So apparently some brawny decided that he was going to masturbate into a jar with a Rainbow Dash in it and see how much of his semen he could collect.
Okay.
And that's what she was cosplaying as. I was like, oh my god, that's so interesting, but oh my god, really? Did you have, oh my god.
I think,
oh god. Oh god.
Dale, are you done with your panel?
Give me a second.
Okay, then you're gonna take panel 6 and I'll take panel 7. That way we keep it evens and odds. Let's see. What the fuck says Jeremy? And then ew.
Yeah, that's why I was impressed, but it was definitely ew. Very ew.
Okay, yes. How's mine?
I like it. I think we're all toppings on the same huge pizza. And then what I have for my panel, so you can see where you're jumping off
and
from.
I'm at panel 6.
Yeah, you're doing panel 6.
Oh, I know.
And so showing you on the main screen.
I gotta hang on a second.
Philo tries to ask for help, right? And so I have him with mushrooms all over him and the mushroom people, and him going, my rocket ship, I need to leave the planet.
Okay. So the question is, what's the next panel?
Well, it's your panel. Let's see. Yes, cosplaying gets some real interesting stuff. Lots of adult cosplayers are freaking out when they see kids cosplaying characters from Has-Been Hotel. And then, so
I was freaking out when people were dressing their freaking 2-year-old daughters as Harley Quinn from the movie. Like, come on. That's a little
adult
inappropriate. But whatever. I mean, you can't. It's their children. If they want to dress their 3-year-old as Chucky, that's their point.
There's nothing worse than child beauty pageants.
So
what? What?
Oh,
child beauty pageants
in the United States.
Okay. Sorry, I didn't hear it. Yeah, those are pretty weird. I agree.
Child beauty pageants.
And I honestly kind of wonder the point of ballet, because it seems very extreme on their bodies and their self-esteem.
Well, ballet has
like
a
good thing, but
long history, and that history, it's hard. Like, ballet's history is actually really messed up. A lot of ballerinas in France and Italy and throughout Europe were actually prostitutes. During like when you see those paintings by Degas of the ballerinas, and they're like these beautiful ballerinas and stuff, you see those girls because they were basically in sex trafficking, right? So you'd have all these like 14-year-old girls and stuff, and then people would come in and take advantage of them, and then they'd move on to the next town. And so I mean that is part of the history of ballet. There's a lot of darkness in ballet. It's still an art form.
And it's like lionized, like so many little girls want it in their lives, you know what I mean? It's treated like what's the word? It's just so glamorous and fabulous.
Well, I think of it as something akin to the castrati. Castrati, in order to get this beautiful angelic voice, they would castrate young boys before they reached puberty. So for the rest of their life, they had this lyrical light voice, and they did it for their art, for opera, but it's still castrating a human being and a boy before he has the ability to make a decision on that regard. You know, I mean, it's a lost art, and I feel like ballet is kind of going that way. There's much fewer ballet companies than there used to be. Kind of like circuses. There's fewer circuses too. And so, okay, so we're on Dale's panel, and Philo asked for help. So, do they understand his help?
They're going to.
Well, he's speaking mushroom because he had consumed one. Is he not? They spoke to him. They said, "Don't eat me," so they understand him.
And I'm going to start giving the mushroom people spears.
Spears?
Okay.
Yeah, I think that they need spears.
So okay. Oh wait, I got your caption. They take him to their leader.
Yes, the mushroom god.
Yes, they take him to
not the mushroom king. I like
okay.
Mushroom King.
So what happens after they take him to the leader? Like, are you just drawing them, taking him along? Am I saying
I think you should draw the Mushroom King on a mushroom throne in front of this big, massive mushroom dude that you've got going right now.
I was thinking that the Mushroom King or the Mushroom God would be just like this enormous sumo
mushroom?
Sumo Buddha gigantic mushroom with mushroom tentacles.
Okay.
Let's see.
Kind of like
Kay says yes. Magic Marmot says I took ballet in college. Micromastophobia says ballet is horrible.
Wow.
It can.
I agree.
It's supposedly.
I've never taken ballet though.
Hard on the feet.
It's terrible on the feet. If you see a ballerina's feet out of their shoes, they're like these gnarly things because the pressure on the muscles of the feet to do ballet, to stand on your toes and stuff, those muscles get so strong in the feet and in the toes that it changes the way they look. Cthulhu
shroom. Yes.
Cthulhu shroom. I think yes, that is my caption is Cthulhu shroom. Cthulhu.
And I'm gonna have him smoking the pipe.
Add an L to it, so then it's shroom. Cthulhu shroom is easier to pronounce, so it's Cthulhu shroom. ...
No, you'd have to add an extra U for it to be Cthulhu shroom.
Yeah. Yeah,
Cthulhu shroom.
Cthulhu.
I don't think it needs an extra H. I think it's just an extra U, not an extra H.
Yeah, I think it's just Cthulhu shroom. Yeah, okay. So I'm going to draw the Cthulhu shroom. And I'll draw Philo down below, looking really small. And now Philo still got mushrooms sticking out of his head, right?
Is the dog still around?
I imagine the dog would still be there. I haven't drawn the dog yet. But
yeah, I'm into the dog. I'm curious about what's going on with the dog.
Well, the dog doesn't have mushrooms, does he?
I put them on the.
That's my question. What's going on with the dog?
I'm putting them on the head now.
Oh, of the dog? The dog's getting mushroomy too? Okay.
All right, he consumed some.
Yeah. We got 27 minutes, by the way. Witness a lead in the ballet of the doll's feet gnarled. Yeah. Black Swan tried to do a good job of kind of showing the dedication and the insanity and the obsession that goes on in ballet, but they basically copied Perfect Blue from Japan to do it. It's like the exact same story, you know, right down to the moving pictures on the wall, you know, the obsession with the mirror, all of it.
I'm gonna have to rewatch that because I've seen Perfect Blue and I don't remember thinking that.
Well, Perfect Blue is about an actress that, like, she starts to, like, lose herself into her roles, right? Well, that's the plot of Black Swan. She sort of loses herself into the Black Swan role, and she's hallucinating. She's doing these things. She's taking drugs and stuff, but it's this obsession of trying to be the best on stage. It's crazy. Down the road in the story, a representative from the Kaiju Council shows up to get Cthulhu Shroom to join, says Magic Marmot. And then thanks for that. So I guess we still have the Kaiju Council.
When I was at work last week, a kid came in with a kaiju, and I asked which one it was, and they didn't know. Is that a kaiju? Yeah! I was like, the King Ghidorah? No, I don't know which one it is. I was like, oh, okay.
All the kids today.
Don't know they're kaiju. Those crazy kids.
That's ridiculous.
Yeah, they're never going to be able to summon Mothra if they don't know about Mothra. And
True.
it's children's love that brings Mothra.
I don't know if that's true either.
No. Is it Gamera
Yeah,
or Mothra? Let's see. Children's love kaiju. I gotta know.
Maybe it was Gamera that guy had. That kid had Gamera.
Gamera is a friend to all children.
Oh, it's Gamera. Gamera is the friend to all children.
And he's full of turtle
Gamera is
meat.
a friend to all children.
Yes. Gamera is the friend to all children, so it's
And he's
Gamera.
full of turtle meat.
Yeah.
Japanese.
In the new Mystery Science Theater 3000, they have a song called Reptilicus, which gets stuck in my head every now and then, and I have to go seek out the episode to listen to it. I remember where there was a meme parody of BVS with Kong and Godzilla, and it's called Save Mothra.
Reptilicus.
Buffy the Vampire Slayer?
What, you don't like Reptilicus?
When I was a kid in the Bay Area, Reptilicus was on all the time. At some point or another, every channel played Reptilicus. Because it was an easy monster movie for them to get.
Yeah.
I loved Reptilicus.
You should watch Mystery Science Theater 3000 make fun of it. They did a really good job with it, though. They do it with love. That.
It's a Danish kaiju, man.
Yes. The Reptilicus song is like, every country has a monster, and the Dane is Reptilicus. It's like, and the Dutch is Reptilicus. It's funny. It's good. It's good stuff.
What's the fox thing?
Let's see. I remember there was a meme parody. Let's see. Oh, Gamera's really neat. Gamera's turtle meat is fun to eat. Hooray for Gameroni.
Is BVS Buffy Vampire Slayer?
Might have been. I don't know. The Cthulhu Shroom. It's kind of an interesting shape. It's gonna have.
I can't see it because half the thing is gone.
Oh, sorry.
Half the page is missing. There we go.
I'm sorry.
Wow, that's kind of phallic looking.
Well, I'm not done with it.
Yeah. Everyone was complaining about butts, so I thought mushrooms would be the next way to go.
Well,
now we're doing
it's
penis
just
head.
Everything became like mushroom, or everything became like butt oriented in your suggestions. Like butts.
It was August.
But.
August is butt month.
Let's see. I'll do this. Everything became Freudian just now, says Jeremy.
Jeremy, is BVS Buffy the Vampire Slayer? Please. I'm dying to know.
Probably. I don't know. It could be.
I won't sleep tonight until I know. Oh, Batman versus
Superman.
Oh, okay. With Kong and Godzilla. Okay. Batman versus Superman.
Now I get the joke.
I had a birthday since I saw you guys.
Yeah.
How
I
old
know.
are you now?
Supposed to yell happy birthday.
Happy birthday. But didn't we do I thought we yelled happy birthday like the show before because it was like a day away.
No, that wasn't me.
Okay.
I am.
Happy birthday.
After Amber made fun of me and implied I was an age that I'm not. I'm 22.
You know
You're
what?
22.
I was 1 year off.
Shut up, Amber.
I was 1 year off. That's a pretty damn good guess.
You're
You just didn't appreciate that the year was on the other side. Then you would have appreciated it.
you're mean.
I'm
You're
not trying to be
mean.
mean. I was
You're
honestly
mean.
trying to guess.
You're mean.
Don't
I'm
ask
trying to
people
be-
to guess if you're not going to like the answer.
Yeah.
I'm 59. It's my last year in my 50s.
Wow.
Yeah. If I knew I was going to be this old, I would have taken way better care of myself.
Go to the gym. You can start now.
Famous last words.
Why? I go to the gym. I've been trying to lose more weight.
I should. It's just, I talked to my doctor. I gained all the weight I'd lost back because of COVID. And she says, yeah, that happened to everybody.
Well, you could get Ozempic.
What's that?
It's a
You
shot that
haven't
you take
heard?
that makes you lose weight.
Yeah, but aren't there horrific side effects?
Yeah, like diarrhea.
You mean I could crap myself thin?
So there is a story where a house guest at Gwyneth Paltrow's beach house had an Ozempic related poop incident in one of the beds and just like fled the guest house. And she's like, what the fuck? Like, why would you do that? I'm sorry, I've been taking Ozempic was their excuse, right? Well, so this got to TMZ and stuff. And while the identity of the house guest has not been confirmed, there are a few guesses that people have had.
Ben Affleck?
I don't think so. I don't think that was one of the guesses.
William Shatner?
I don't think William Shatner's hanging out with Gwyneth Paltrow.
Oh, I don't know if I was...
It's the people that look suddenly skinny now. Like, isn't it like Kelly Clarkson is one of them?
Yeah. And the thing is because they lose the weight so fast, they get this kind of gaunt look in their face.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, and it looks like they're almost sick,
I haven't seen her lately, but I bet you Tori Spelling's one of them.
Probably.
Did I tell you guys I went to GalaxyCon and saw John Cleese and William Shatner?
No.
No.
I met John Cleese.
That's pretty exciting.
It was super exciting. I made him laugh. And
Oh, that's even more exciting.
he made fun of me and gave me a very nice compliment.
How did he make fun of you?
I wore a mask to GalaxyCon. And
Oh, okay.
So he was out at lunch, and we're all standing there, and we're in line waiting for him to come back to get an autograph. And he comes out. There's like a curtain behind the booth where the pathway.
Yeah, I've seen those kind of things.
So he looks at when I was like the sixth person in line, and he looks at me in the mask, and I say hello to him, and he goes, he's like mumbling to me, like he can't hear me through the mask. So I decide, okay, well, I'll just mumble back, and I go, and he got into the spirit of it. So we were mumbling there for about 2 or 3 minutes, having a full conversation with hand gestures and mumbling, and that was a lot of fun. But
Not a lot of people can say that.
He was pretty cool. I think he liked the fact that I have been watching him since the Avengers.
He was in the Avengers?
John Cleese, after
Was it just an episode?
After Diana Rigg left the Avengers, they kept the series going with
Oh yeah, they had a bunch of different girls.
Linda Thornton
Yeah.
And one of the episodes, and I forget the plot, had her go to a clown museum.
Yes, the British.
So
show.
he was just in like one episode then. He was
Yeah,
a
he
guest
was
on
a
the
guest
episode.
star.
Okay. Yeah,
And
okay. That makes
he got-
sense. I mean, British 1960s.
thought he was getting a smile out of that because he was remembering, this isn't just some normal fan. This is a nut job he's dealing with.
When
And-
I met Grant Imahara, I told him that I'd been following his career since Robot Wars, and that gave him a smile.
yeah,
I can't believe he's dead though. Like, holy cow.
Yeah, a girl I went to high school with became a very close friend of his. And so she'd post pictures and stuff all the time. She was one of the first people to find out when he passed. And so, every year on his birthday and stuff, she posts a little tribute to him.
But John Cleese was smiling, and I told him I was an Avengers fan. And because I knew I was going to be standing for a long time, I brought my combat umbrella, which I use as a cane when I'm at conventions. So when I told him, that I was a huge Avengers fan, I lifted up my umbrella, which he hadn't seen yet, which is like John Steed's umbrella, and he just started.
Exactly.
He thought that was fun, but it was really weird, man, to meet this guy I've watched all my life and talk to him, but not have like a screen or a piece of glass in front of me. I was really happy to meet him. But the thing is, he's up there in age, and he reminded me of the age of my dad, so it's a little sad. But he's pretty spry. He's younger than William Shatner, who was there. And,
He wrote The Croods.
John Cleese?
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, it was his idea. He pitched it. He wrote it.
Jeremy wants to know what the panting is. It's not panting. It's Dale coloring something in on his tablet. I also asked the same question a while ago.
He has the mic closer to his tablet than he does his mouth.
I'm working on a Samsung Galaxy Book 360, which allows you to draw directly on the screen.
Yes, but if you had a mic closer to your mouth, we wouldn't hear that.
Yes.
Yeah, but we might actually hear him literally panting, so that's probably okay.
I am a lazy person. I don't care.
Well, okay. I won't say it.
I'm a lazy person.
Well, okay. I was going to say that's why you're not getting your comics done.
No, that's depression.
Well, laziness and depression go hand in hand.
Maybe after November, and after I've moved, I'll get back into it.
Okay. Okay. I'm just teasing you.
No,
I just want you to be successful.
You're just mean. You're just always
Sometimes.
mean to me.
Sometimes. But I'm mean out of love.
Yes, you're mean to me out of love.
Yeah, I'm kind of doing like a weird giant mushroom like blob thing.
I like both images, your giant mushroom and his giant mushroom. Cthulhu shroom. They're both excellent Cthulhu shrooms.
Well, the Cthulhu shroom could be an amorphous creature that like changes from scene to scene too.
It may not actually be a shroom. It could be something that's taken the shape of a shroom because it too is trapped on this planet that it needs to get off with Philo too. So it's become the mushroom people's god.
I've been inside a mushroom.
It's hallucination anyway, says Magic Marmot.
I've been inside a mushroom.
You've been inside a mushroom.
Yep.
A giant fungus.
If you, I don't even know if it's still around actually, but I went to the comic book museum in Belgium.
Oh, you're talking about
2014.
something like for the Smurfs.
For the Stromps. Yeah, they had a giant mushroom house because the Stromps were created in Belgium.
Nice.
Smurf. The Smurfs.
I've
you
been
Anglos.
to Bedrock.
That's cool.
Yeah, they used
So
to
have
have.
I.
Yeah, they used to have a little Flintstones Bedrock in South Dakota.
Yep.
And I'd been there. I'd been to Bedrock. I have stood in the living room of the Flintstones.
When I was a kid, that's what Canada's Wonderland also had. They had the Yogi Bear Land, and they had like Flintstones Land at Canada's Wonderland back in the early 80s. I don't know what they have now. I haven't been to Canada's Wonderland since the 80s.
Let's see. So much cement, Sis K. So much cement. Yeah, it really was. And then they'd have mascot characters and stuff around. But in the same trip, I also saw Mount Rushmore and I saw the Crystal Caverns. And out of all three of those things, the Crystal Caverns, go see. Like, if you don't see anything else, if you don't see anything else in South Dakota, the Crystal Caverns are worth it. And they're right down the street from Mount Rushmore.
You know, in Pee-wee's Big Adventure, and there's that like giant dinosaur. Where's that?
That's in California.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I have been in that dinosaur. I've been in both those dinosaurs. The Brontosaurus for a long time used to be a museum of like the area and like when it was built and the fact that they used to play movies there and all different types of things. But when Pee Wee Herman died, when Paul Reubens died, they painted up the T-Rex as Pee Wee Herman.
Yeah.
And they've continued that paint job since.
Wow, that's cool. I didn't know that.
Yeah, and so I have been in that mouth with the T-Rex where you can see out the mouth. Like I've been there.
That's cool.
Yeah, it's cool.
I didn't realize I loved Paul Reubens and Pee Wee Herman and Pee Wee's Playhouse. I loved them. And I didn't realize how much of an effect it had on me until I was watching this movie called what was it called? It had Sandra Oh and Awkwafina in it, and Awkwafina was like this trivia savant, and Sandra Oh was her irresponsible older sister who was always in trouble, and they had to rescue their mom from money sharks, loan sharks, because their mom was
originally from Maine,
gambler.
Germany. They were little cartoons introduced to commercial break. Maina mention, says Magic Marmot.
Well, they were in the Belgian museum, and the whole point of the Belgian Comic Museum is to basically only showcase Belgian comics.
Yeah, no,
so
the Smurfs are Belgian.
It's like Asterix and Tintin and the Smurfs.
Yeah, the Smurfs are Belgian. They're not German.
But I was talking about Pee-wee. But yeah, so this movie, at the very end of the movie, he shows up, and it was the last role he did before he passed away. And I just started bawling my eyes out, and I was like, "Oh my god, I'm still upset about it. Still upset about Paul Reubens being dead."
Have you seen his original HBO special where they introduced Pee-wee?
Yes.
Yeah, where he's on stage.
Yeah.
And he's got half the people that he brought with him to actual Playhouse show.
One of my favorite
was his writing part.
Yeah, one of my favorite pictures I was going to say is they're at a McDonald's in Los Angeles writing the script for the Pee Wee Herman show when they sold the pilot. And it's Phil Hartman on one side and it's Paul Reubens on the other side, and they're eating McDonald's with the script laid out on the table as they're working on it. And it's this amazing picture just from Hollywood history of these two people just working. And I love pictures like that. I love seeing pictures of people I admire doing what they did best.
Okay, how's this panel?
I think it's looking pretty good. It's a giant Cthulhu creature. He has a pipe?
Yeah.
I have to give him a pipe now.
Yeah, with a face on it.
Because he's a Cthulhu, he's a god.
Yeah.
All right, well, it's almost the end, so I guess we'll do the Kaiju Council showing up in the next segment.
Yeah,
Because
if we
that's where
remember
we
to
were
do it.
headed, right? All right. Well, hey, anywhere the story goes is anywhere the story goes.
Let's see. Oh, I have to remember what. Let's see. There we go.
Okay, so I've done panels 2, 4, and 6.
Yes, and I have done 1, 3, 5, and 7. So
Okay.
you would be on panel 8. We have 5 minutes left. Do you want to take panel 8 or just want to relax?
Let's call it a night.
Okay, yeah, no worries. Let me do, because I have to draw a pipe here now, because you gave him a pipe.
Yeah, pipes are cool.
Yeah. So what news did we cover? We had Sergio Aragone's birthday. Sadly, Robin lost her friend. There was a
And it was because he was like, he couldn't see making any more money. He was so in poverty. He was having health issues because he was around the same age as you, Dale. And he
I was going to talk about that.
I was really sad when I first heard about it, and I'm still very sad, but part of me is a little angry because he has 2 sons, and like, admittedly his sons are adults now, but I don't know, I kind of think that if you have actual children, you kind of owe your life to them.
I don't mean to bum the show out, but you may not know this, Robin, but here in the U.S., because of all the guns, and this is something that actually got brought up when I was taking the safety tests that California requires for buying a gun. It's not uncommon for guys in their 50s to, they're at risk. And you can look at the statistics of guys who do self-harm.
Well, also just medical debt in America. That leads to a lot of suicides. You know,
well,
and if he was facing health issues, you know, he may have felt like he was saving his family from that debt.
Yeah.
You know, if he had something like that wasn't disclosed, like a cancer diagnosis, you know. And,
but we're in Canada. It's not as bad as it is there as far as medical.
He's Canadian?
So. Yeah, he is. Like,
well, yeah, you
I
guys,
find one of my friends in real life. Like, I used to hang out with him when I lived in Montreal all the time.
It's listen, guys in their 50s, they have a midlife crisis. Usually starting around, it's getting younger now. 40 is when guys can sometimes get a midlife crisis, but usually 50 you get the midlife crisis. Some guys put it off. I've been putting mine off for a while, but I'm due for it. I'm overdue for it. So if I buy a sports car or get a tattoo, that will be a sign that you need to put in a rubber room.
Oh, just go on Kickstarter and willy-nilly get drunk and just make people's dreams come true, Dale.
No, but you gotta. It's a guy thing about that age. You know, one day you get up and you're like using the bathroom and you think, why are my testicles wet? And that's depressing.
Let's see.
You don't think women go through the same shit?
No, you don't have testicles.
No, but like, you know, why am I growing hairs on my chin? Oh my God, I've got a second chin. I can't get rid of this poop.
Not to mention menopause.
Yeah.
Yeah, that sucks.
I was showing an Elvis Costello video to one of the nuns the other day, and I started bawling my eyes out. And it was just like, I'm sorry, I'm perimenopausal. I can't help it.
Well, it's all people do it, but it's more difficult.
I just keep
not difficult. It's more dangerous for guys.
I'm just having mushrooms.
It's more dangerous for guys because often guys will have guns, and guns are a far more permanent way of injuring yourself. So,
Robin Williams said that suicide is a permanent solution to a temporary problem.
He had a permanent problem. He
said that before his diagnosis. Yeah, he said that years before his diagnosis.
Yeah, he didn't commit suicide so much as he self-euthanized. I know that's just linguistics, but he was hallucinating. Bobcat Goldthwait has talked about how bad it was for him on various podcasts. He was suffering. But no, when you're a guy, you got to watch it. It's dangerous to have a gun in the house. But on a happier note, the San Jose Toy Show is coming on the weekend of the 21st.
Jealous. That must be awesome.
It's fun. Sharon and Joe, who run the Time Tunnel, run the toy show. And it's dealers who come from around the state to sell old toys. And sometimes you can get some amazing finds.
Now, when we say old toys, are we talking like 70s, or are we talking like tin toys from like the turn of the 20th century?
When I started going years ago, like let's say before the pandemic, I would still see people selling tin toys and people selling old paperback books and old magazines. Since the pandemic and I started going again, it's mostly plastic toys. There's some stuff that's old metal that's like from the 50s and 60s, but it's mostly stuff from me as a kid, 70s, a lot of 80s stuff.
And 80 billion Funko Pop.
Oh, Funko Pops are con herpes, convention herpes. And there's not as many of them as there used to be. It used to be
there are at our con.
Fortunately, I think they're dying. There's some comic book dealers there, and it's just an odd show. I have a lot of fun going there. And
Magic Marmot says he has an original lawn dart set, and then Magic Marmot says, I call it the Croninine. I think referring
What's the Croninine?
I think referring to the male midlife crisis. I think that's what.
I think he was referring to.
I thought this were
how people grow double chins and hair in places.
Oh, you turned it into a crone. Yeah.
Cronenberg.
So
no, not Cronenberg. I think a crone.
Yeah, Funko Pop makes no sense to me, says Kay. So we are at time. We are actually 2 minutes over. I want to thank everybody for joining us today in chat. And let me close down my window here. And then I will close down Dale's window
Maiden
here.
Mother Crone.
See, I agree. That's what Dale, I said. It's a crone, not Cronenberg.
You need to.
Cronenberg's not that old, but what? It's not a crone.
Yeah, you need to put a caption on this panel.
They take them to their god.
They take them to their god. That works for me. All right, so I am going to close down Dale's panel. And this is me. So, Robin, good night. I will see you again in the future, and thank you for knowing more about comics than I do. And Dale, thank you very much for being my guest artist tonight. And I'll let you add that change, and you can send me the panels when you're ready. And thank you so much for doing that. And thank you, chat, for joining us on YouTube and on Twitch. If you like what you see, I do have a Patreon, which is /ArtGlitch, but I'm not going to put it on the screen here. Anyway, I will see you guys in the future. I'll see you next week. Have a great one.